Today we're going to talk about how to make a Pareto chart, and typically, not always, but typically you will take the data that you have gathered on your check sheet and create a Pareto chart from that data. As you can see on your screen, we have an Excel spreadsheet here with several categories of defects and some counts beside those, and hash marks in the typical check sheet style. So I'm going to use this data to create a Pareto chart for you. The first thing I'm going to do is count up in each one of these how many defects they counted, and then put that in a cell next to the defect row. So in this case, there's 15. These were zeros. This one was 18. Oops. This one was 1. This one was 2. And this one, of course, is 2. And the next thing I want to do is sort these. Now, all I want to do is sort the ones I've put numbers by. I want the largest at the top, smallest at the bottom. So I highlight all of those cells, click Sort Filter, go to Custom Sort. I want to sort by C here, column C, and values. Sort on values. The order should be largest to smallest. I click OK, and there we go. Now this one hash mark kind of fell off here. If you want to make that nice and pretty, you can move it back up here, and there's an extra one up here for some reason. So move that down, make that pretty. And at this point, we're ready to start in on the Pareto chart. Highlight the number of defects. Go to Insert, Column Chart, and regular 2D column chart. It's fine. So here's a good start on our Pareto chart. And you can see that we have the number of defects, largest on the left, smallest on the right. You can, at this point, we need to change the labels on the x-axis, and so I'm going to click on that somehow here. There we go. And so I highlighted it. I right-click. I go to Select Data. I get this screen up. This is one that looks on a regular PC. On a Macintosh, there's when you do that, there's this looks a little bit different, and there's a box that asks you, or where you can select the x-axis labels. So in this one, I have the horizontal axis labels, category labels, and I want to edit that, and I'm going to choose the range here of the defects themselves, the labels, and so I chose that range. I click OK and click OK, and you can see here that for our Pareto chart we have those labels on the bottom at this point. So we're doing pretty well, and so that looks pretty much like a Pareto chart. We can take this series thing and get rid of that. And it gave us a little bit more width for the graph, and so you can see that it changed the way it laid out the bottom labels. If you want, of course, you can put in a title, a Pareto chart title, and let's see here. Let's select the whole thing. Format chart data. And if you wanted it different colors or something, this is no fill. There's no border. You can go through the styles for regular formatting kinds of things. I clicked on the chart layout 1. It put that series legend back in there, so I'm going to get rid of that. and it put a chart title up here on the top, and I'll just type Pareto chart, and so that is the simplest form of a Pareto chart. Now, some of you will want to. I'm going to move the chart off to the side for a second. Some of you will want to create a cumulative distribution, and so the way to do that is to type up here equals sum of all these defects. So we had a total of 38 defects, and we need another row, or I mean another column over here that is the kind of the running total of the number of defects. And so 18 starts out. The next one is, well, let's do that right. And so if we just hit it equal and then point to that cell, it gives us 18. And then we hit equals, we want to add D4 to C5. So we have D4 plus C5. Hit enter, and then we highlight those, drag that down, and here for this we need what we're trying to do is get a column of the cumulative percentage, and so this is equal to our first row divided by our total. And the total, I'm going to create an absolute reference. So you put the dollar sign in front of the C, dollar sign in front of the 3. I hit the F4 key on the PC and hit enter. So that's 47%. Drag that down. And if I want, click the percentage formatting button to turn those into percents. Now, what I'd like to do is add that to the Pareto chart, and to do that I'm going to have to do a couple little things. First is that when I can select data to show, and I want to add another data series, and this is cumulative percentage. And when I click on the series values down here, if I click on the thing with the red dot, it allows me to highlight my column, and when I hit enter, then that enters that in there, and you can see at this point that so I'm going to click OK because that's fine. It doesn't look right yet, but we'll get there. And so click OK and click OK, and you can see that those numbers are really little. They're all less than, they go up to 1, and they're the wrong kind of numbers. And so what we want to do is change the chart type, change series chart type, and I want a line for that. So now we have a line, and the other thing I want to do with that is I want to select that line, and I want to select the line, right click on it, format the data series, I do believe, and I want that to be on a secondary axis. So close, and so at this point I have a secondary axis that starts here and shows a cumulative percentage up to 100. I'm going to format that axis, and I need to make sure I get just the axis selected. So okay, format axis, and it says minimum, and leave that at 0. Fixed should be 1, okay, for 100%. And click close, and we can see that closes that. And when I do the chart, then it looks like this. So there's a version of the Pareto chart with a cumulative distribution function added to it, cumulative percentage. So I hope that helps, and have fun with it.